This is my parents in Iran. My mom is pregnant with me. She's pregnant with me, and it's my dad. Everything was quiet and happy. They had no reason to leave. They had no clue what was waiting for them. I wanted to share the Persian Jewish story. I believe that story has not yet been told, and it needs to be shared. My parents made enormous sacrifices. This is my dad holding me. He has so much love and devotion in his eyes. We left in 79 and we went from Iran to Israel and then to New York City. Then we came to LA. What most immigrants do is they travel in herds. And because of that, we have the support system. Los Angeles had this huge influx of Iranians in the late 70s, early 80s. We were living in the same apartment with about 5 other families. Imagine you're a 30-year-old man and suddenly you have to start from the beginning. And my dad never complained, even with all his difficulties that he faced. I watched my father working so hard. Here he is again, going back to school. He still had that vision of rebuilding his life in America. Finally, it wasn't until I was 8 years old. My dad always says, I bought this house. I didn't know how I was going to pay for it the next month. And throughout the whole journey, he never sacrificed his Jewish identity. Living in America, people, even though they were Jewish, they didn't celebrate the Jewish holidays the way my family did. Friday night, it was we're going to my grandparents' house. We laughed, we danced. Our Friday night dinners were the highlight of the week. And that's why it was so strange for me, even though I went to a Jewish school, what do you mean you guys don't have Shabbat dinner? Growing up in Jewish day school, there were many moments where I felt as the outsider, and my parents were so adamant to hold on to the values and the way of living in Iran. This is me. For Persians, I was like the American girl, the California girl. But I was seeing how my friends that weren't necessarily Persian were living and what freedoms they had. For example, sleepovers. I was always the girl that got picked up. And sleepaway camp, forget about it. It was just very different, and it was at times hard to digest, especially when the other side, it looks more fun. I'm definitely like a child of the 80s. Madonna, Duran Duran, all the John Hughes movies. You have the watchful eye in the Persian Jewish community. You have the support, but at the same time, there are restrictions. They tie your freedom. I got asked out to junior prom with a boy, and before I could answer to him, I had to go and ask my dad's permission. His first response was, absolutely not. What are people going to say? And, this debate went back and forth, and finally he said, so long as I go and I meet his parents, you're good to go. My dad got to know his parents and realized, okay, they seem normal, and he gave me the green light, and I went. 20 years later, I ran into the gentleman. We were parting ways. He turned around. He's like, you have the coolest dad. And I said, yeah, he's pretty cool. I have to remember, not just all the hard work that went into building a life for us, how much of their belief system they had to do away with to have things be more fluid and easy for us. My parents are so grateful for this country that gave them this second opportunity. But at times, the values are extremely conflicting and challenging. My parents held on to their core values. I struggled, but looking back, I'm so grateful for that because I knew where I belonged. And it really gave a foundation of who I am. What I see is the Jewish story of resilience. We're not going to be victims. You can take away as much as you want from us. We're going to still continue rebuilding.